What, Jeff, give us a little overview here. I'd invite him to put the headset on.
This is a little fun. Now it's working. Great. Alright, hi ladies, how you guys doing tonight? Okay, my portion tonight is to show you how to install a vanity cabinet and a faucet and sink. It's going to be a quick overview because I know you guys want to get back to do the handle. TV torches, great. I don't see what I'm actually talking on a microphone, so you'll have to bear with me because I will trip up at least a few more times. So you got to bear with me. While they're getting that ready, I'm going to kind of tell you how to tear everything out, because typically if you're doing a remodel, you got to tear out the old cabinet, which makes it really nice that what you can do when you're tearing it out is you can actually mark where the studs are in the wall. What you want to do is hit the 2x4. If you don't hit a copper pipe, I can tell you by doing it what will happen. It'll flood out of room. I did that here at work, so it's fun. Yeah, in the training room, I flooded it 2 inches deep.
He's awesome, but he can also, he does that, but then he fixes it, so.
So, basically when you're tearing it out, you're going to take off the disconnect the piping. When you look underneath your sink, you're going to see a hose like this, and it's going to be connected to a valve. This is basically what's going to shut off the water, so you can take everything out and not get water everywhere. What you want to check and make sure of, once you shut this valve off, you want to turn your faucet on and make sure that they both are completely off. What sometimes may happen is this valve is bad, and you may get a little water trickling out through the hose once you disconnect it from the faucet. If it's not really, really bad and it's just dripping slowly, put a bucket underneath there, a towel, to something that can catch the drip until you get everything hooked back up and you connect the hose back to the new faucet, turn it back on, you're good to go. If it's really bad, you're going to have to stop right where you are and call the plumber, because it's going to have to be changed out, otherwise you're going to have water everywhere. So just a precaution when you're doing it. Once you get the cabinet torn out, what you want to do when you're unscrewing it, because they're basically held to the wall with probably just 2 screws, what you want to do is mark where those screws are, so that when you put the new cabinet in, you can basically put the screw right in the same markings where it was before. That way you know you're going to hit the wooden stud behind it, and you don't have to worry about hitting a copper pipe or a PVC pipe that's behind it. Trust me, that's going to be valuable information when you go to do this. So, alright, since they have it ready, alright. First, after you get everything unpacked, obviously you're going to have, you can leave the hose still connected to that valve. It's not going to hurt because it's going to be connected anyway. Take your cabinet, this one's already there for. Just slide it in a place where it's going to go. It's going to be the same size as the other one. It should be pretty quick. Yeah. You can slam it, that's fine, it'll work. Okay, after you got it up on the wall, you're going to need a level, which is one of these. I know mine's level, I already checked, so that's good. What you want to do is you want to check side to side and make sure that the bubble's in the center, which it is. I think the only part on the floor that is level. Perfect, so we have 2 cabinets come out dead on level. If you guys get that lucky, you're doing really good. If they're not level, yeah, you guys ask questions as you go, because like I said, I don't do well in front of people, so I probably will forget something, so ask. These are called shims. They have wood shims, they have composite shims, which are plastic. Basically, you just score with a blade and it'll snap off. If I had to level this cabinet, because it wasn't level going forward, you just take these shims, you stick it up underneath on the bottom, and you just push it up underneath there until it starts raising the cabinet. Leave your level on the top so you can actually see that bubble move as you're raising the cabinet up. You may have to pull it a little away from the wall, because what will happen is if the back's touching, you can't tilt it back any further. So just pull it up a little bit and lean it back to your level. After that, you want to check from side to side to make sure that it's level that way. Same principle, only working from the side. You stick it down here and you just slide it up underneath there until it's level. But we don't have to do that because it's level. So. Yes, ma'am. You can score this with a lace thing and snap it off. It's the same principle. Alright. Once it's level, which is really good because I can go behind the wall and see where this does at. And I lost one. Alright. When you're doing a remodel, you already mark where the screws are, but on the new one, basically, I have a stud here. And like I said, you'll have them marked before so you know where they are, and I've got a stud right here. What you're going to do is you're going to take a 2.5-inch all-purpose screw, or you can use the same ones you pulled out of your remodel. Provided the head's not stripped out on it or it's all bent up, you can still use the same one that was on it before, which I have some. I am bringing up for you, so I'll just put these in. Were you here last time? Oh no, so I said you were going to do it. All right, sweet. There you go.
Yeah! Woo! Get it, girl!
Basically. It really, yeah, she was asking how high or how low on this wood strip back here. You put it on, you put it anywhere you want as long as you're within where that stud mark is. No. Apparently I don't know where it marked. It's all my fault. Apparently I can't do a straight line either. That's all right, it doesn't matter.
It's stage fright, Jeff. Stage fright.
Nope, that's right. I didn't do nothing, sorry. You're absolutely right. Absolutely.
What's that?
Alright. Now that you have the cabinet in, just double check and make sure everything's level, which is still dead on, so that's perfect. Alright, once that's in, now we're going to actually put in the sink and the faucets. Anyone have any questions so far? As far as where we're at? It's extremely simple to put in a cabinet. Seriously, that's all there is to it. That's how simple it is to put one in. Alright. Typically, they're probably going to want you to put the sink in first and then try to crawl up underneath the sink and do everything. Well, I'd like to do it the easy way. I'm going to put it all on there first and then put the sink on top. So, extremely easy after that. Alright. Go ahead and just step on the work that right now. Okay. I'm going to put the drain on first. Is this piece right here? Right here. When you pull out directions when you're putting on the faucet, it's going to tell you to put silicone on this top piece, which is where your drain is. When you guys look in the sink, you see this top piece here. I don't typically use silicone. I use a plumber's putty? Somebody just said that. Oh, well then, here, you want to come up? I'll give you the point here. I got no problem with that. Thanks. I appreciate that. Alright. Just to save time for doing that, we get on to the other one. Basically, this is what a plumber's putty is. It almost looks like Play-Doh. Seriously. Just roll it up into a long tube, wrap it around this piece right here. Right around there. Basically all it does is help keep, put a seal around us so water doesn't mix through there. And there is a big rubber washer on the bottom there too, so between them and the plumber's putty, you're not going to leak. Yes ma'am. We have to put this to one side and screw it and go back. Right. It stays soft. As when you're screwing it down, you're going to see it kind of ooze out the sides. Just take your finger and wipe around it, it'll come right off. This area is like Play-Doh. So, if you have to take that out, it'll pop right off. Well, once you want, because this actually screws onto the top of this, and that's what kind of seals it. And once you back it off, you can just take your finger and just push it right out. It'll come out. It's not going to like dry like caulking wet or the silicone to make it harder to come out. And then you can just take a rag and wipe it right out. It'll come right off. It's very easy. Okay, so you want this piece right here. It's going to fit in the bottom. Here comes the fun part. And basically you just turn it back over just like you're putting on a nut bolt. Well, like I said, as you're tightening it down, you're going to see the plumber's putty kind of ooze out the side of it, which is just helping it create a seal. After you get so far, there's a nut right there you just turn. Make sure this is facing towards. You guys see this piece right here? Okay, that's going to be facing towards the back because that's where your drain plug is. It goes up and down. If it's on the front, you'll never be able to do it. If it was me, I would take a tool to it because I don't want to make sure I have to come back to it later after I put it in and tighten it up. But just for general purpose of our drawing now, this is just to show you guys. So if you want to take a wrench, it's easy to take a pair of pliers or a channel lock, put them on there, tighten it up to where you feel comfortable. You'll see it tight around here, so you won't get any more leaks. Once that's done, you're good. And after that, just set it down right there just for now. Alright, after that, we're going to put the sink on. Does anybody have any questions so far? Does it look difficult to do in any way, shape, or form? And seriously, that's all there is. Everyone thinks it's really hard, but it's not. It's extremely simple to do. You just gotta have the confidence to know you'll be able to do it. Here's the faucet we're going to install. And when you guys see this and see how easy it is, you're going to realize, like, wow, that was it. Just undo these bolts on the back. There's one on each side. There's a little plastic scutching plate right here that stays on it, so when you slide it on there, that kind of keeps it between that and the top. Basically just like a gasket on this plastic. Maybe that's what I have to do this. That's possible.
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah.
Are kitchen sinks basically the same type of thing?
It's the exact same thing. The only difference, I'll say most commonly, your kitchen sink is an 8-inch on center. And what that means is, if I measure from the center of this hole to the center of this hole, it'll measure 8 inches for a kitchen sink. 99% of the time, your bathrooms are set on 4-inch center, which is what this is. So I measure from here to here is 4 inches. So if someone asks you, is it an 8-inch on center or 4-inch on center? All they're asking is the difference between these two holes. And trust me, an 8-inch will be out here. There's no way to mistake it. So, alright, from that, all you want to do is take this and stick it right down into the hole. And those two pieces you put on, all you're doing is putting one back and screwing them down. And that's the extent of putting a faucet on. Seriously, that's it. No, outside of putting the valve on, that's it. Yeah, I know, look at her, it's like, you gotta be kidding me, that's it? Yes, ma'am. It will be, what she asked was, what if it's a single lever? This one's two, you have some like on your sinks where it's just one on the back. You'll have two basic copper pipes, which is your hot and cold coming out of the center. And what's going to happen is you'll have one of these and it'll slide over the copper pipe and it'll slide onto a center screw that's coming down through there. Same principle, only one versus having 3. No ma'am. No ma'am, sure don't. Once you tighten it down, that little plastic gasket right there is going to seal it. She has to put silicone over on this one. What's that? about the water lines as well. If I was doing it, I'd say yeah, only because I like to have everything new. If I'm going to replace a vanity, a sink, and a faucet, I really don't want to use an old water line, because you never know how long it's been. So if it was me, I would say yes, I would replace it. It's not necessary. If it's still in good shape, it's a judgment call you would have to make, but if you're replacing 99% of the vanity, you might as well just shoot for the other 1% and replace that as well. Okay, that's all it is. I've already tightened it down. You see it's nice and snug on there. I actually did it already on. Someone must have had this before, but we can show. We can do that too. It's no problem. Okay, well. Now, as far as these, unless you want to climb up under the sink and reach up, blindly to tighten this down, just go ahead and put these on right now. Like I said, I like the easy way. I don't want to struggle or fight for nothing. The less tools I have to buy, even though I am a guy that do love tools, I do have enough of them. If I don't have to use them, that works even better for me. That's this one. Yeah. Oh, okay, right. Yeah. Nope, there it goes. It's on there good. It's on there now. Anyway, that's what it's going to look like. So once I flip it down, all I got to do is fasten this onto that one valve I told you guys at the start. You just screw it onto this, turn the water on, you're ready to go. Well, I take that back. You have to hook up the traps, otherwise you'll have water everywhere. And then they'll come back to me and say, Jeff, this is how you taught it. Like, I'm sorry. So, yeah, we'll do that next, because unfortunately that one you are going to get underneath the sink to do. There's no way around it. Actually, I take that back. You can't do that. That's what about the little valve, the little flipper valve, and you can't do that actually before it goes in as well. So we'll do it all. I do apologize. There's going to be things in there you guys are obviously I'm not going to know, which you just copy on. Inside the book it says there's a plug valve that Alright. Right. Yeah, they have these for your washer dryers also. Almost like this in automated. Well, mine was open, so I actually could be missing some pieces. To tell you the truth. No, wait a minute. Alright. You got this piece right here. This right here is the piece, obviously, of handle that you're lifting up and down to get it to plug off the sink. On the very back of your faucet, you can see a hole. Basically, all that does is slide right through there, just like that. I don't know if I can turn this around, you guys can see this. Okay, this is normally tight, so if it moves, don't worry about it. I just didn't want to make it super tight to keep going. This piece right here, it's got the nut on it. That's actually going to tighten down on this lever. Thank you very much. Oh, look at that. Well, you know, I try. Basically, just take this, slide it over, and then you're just going to tighten it down on the lever. So now, as I'm moving this up and down, the front lid is just popping up and down. What that's going to do is operate this, and inside this here, which is this piece right here, this is going to slide in here, and what that's going to do is as this comes up and down, it's going to pull it up and down. Just take this pick one, you got like 5 holes there, depending on how high or how far this goes down. Just stick this through the hole, the one with a ball, actually slides in and sits just like that. Like I said, I won't mess up. This piece right here is what holds it on. Slide one through like that. What's going to happen is after I put it through here, and I put that piece when all else fails, read the directions, which is something we're not really good at. And it also helps with the directions. Well, good. You want to come over and be mine there? Let's just bend this out since tonight, aren't we? That actually goes inside here. Yeah. Basically what I did was I disconnected that from the valve. The piece that slides up and down. Like I said, read the directions. It's a whole lot easier. After you tighten this piece on right here, let me just so you guys know what I'm talking about. This right here. This was a piece I took off here first. Just slide it over there so it looks like that, because that's what's actually going to hold this piece in place. Just so I can show you guys what I was talking about with that valve on the back. As I move it up and down, you see how it's opening and closing the piece. That's all that valve does. Okay, now I have to do it the right way. Just slide that, put this piece on first. Slide this over it and then put that on top. You'll have to bend this together so it'll slide, because if you don't, it doesn't move anywhere. See how that's hard? But if you pull the two together, I can slide that and now put it wherever I want. Once I get it there, just push it basically up so you can slide it in there and tighten down this bolt. And that's actually it. That's all there is to it. And it works. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Okay, after that, you're literally 95% done. As far as installing this. Now the only thing you have left to do is you want to put silicone around, or you can put it on here, around the 4 edges. Put the sink down, set it on top, and let it dry. And as far as this goes, you're 100% done. That's it. Does anybody have any questions about that part? Okay, well pretend I just put silicone all over that. Whether if it's sitting down on the cabinet, you're absolutely right. If it's sitting on top, put it down in, because they have some that will actually rest on it. Right. The side splash. Right. Does everybody know what she was talking about there? Okay, on some bathrooms, you've got a wall either on the left side or the right side. And what she's talking about is side splash. Well, this is the back splash. It's the exact same thing when it goes on the side. So it'll seal, because sometimes in Florida, 95% of the time, there's not a straight wall anyhow. So you'll see it'll be touching in the back, and you'll be about, half inch, 3/4, a quarter of an inch off on the front. Well, this piece right here, once you set it on, it hides all that. But yeah, no, not so much. I've been in Michigan, and there's just a bad thing too. So, yes, we sure will. Let me finish that up, and then I'll show you how it goes on. Now underneath it, that's basically what it's going to look like. You're going to take your 2 hoses, like we just said, You're going to have two of these sticking out. You stick the hot one on the hot, the cold one on cold. Now, does anyone know which side's cold and which side's hot? You can look right at the book and it'll tell me. Like I said, typically, I know someone's going to prove me wrong here. Your left side is, and your right side is cold. So, there you are. If you're not sure, just turn it on or shut the valve off. If the only thing coming out is cold, then you know that's the hot side. Another easy way to go, like I said, I'm all about easy. Coming out of the wall is a drain. Now you can actually leave this still connected. Because what's going to happen is, you guys see this blue pipe that's coming down as part of the drain? That is actually going to be setting inside here. So when you go to take out the old one, if you just unscrew that piece that looks like this, then it'll just slide right out. You can just leave it still attached. So the only thing you're doing when you put it back down in there is just make sure that that piece there slides into this hole. Now you may have to trim it a little bit, depending on how close the drain is, because it could be 2 or 3 inches away, it could be as far as 8. So you may have to trim this down when you go to put it in. But basically all it does is slide in there. There's a, let's take it off here. You're going to have one of these that you're going to have to put on there, along with this little plastic washer. It's found on one side, spinning on the other, it's tapered down. The taper part's going to face down, so when you tighten it down, it kind of goes over, and the more you tighten it, the more the squeeze is down in there and seals around the pipe. Excellent. This piece will go on like that. This piece right here is what's going to be coming out of the wall, which is going to be attached to this. Yes, because that's going to tie down there. So when you're using, basically saying how to put these two pieces on right here, this will go on upside down. Like I said, the fatter piece goes on first, so and you're going to have to work on to get it on. It slides on like that. So when you go to tighten this down, this will slide up, and as I tighten this down on the other pipe, that tapered piece will actually wedge itself between the two pipes and seal it. And you don't have to worry about rinsing them too hard. If you're still getting a little water coming out when you do that, just get up underneath it and see if you can tighten it down a little bit more, because more than likely it's not tight enough. So, there you are. Okay. Anyone have any questions on how to put that down there? It's pretty basic, hot, cold. And your piping is still going to be there, so basically all you're doing is connecting the drain off of the sink into that and you're all set. Yes? Hacksaw, it's really nice. Instead of hacksaw, we've got a tool for PVC cutters. You just squeeze it like a pair of scissors, cuts it right now. Makes life really easy. Does anybody have any questions so far? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You can just move this to make it fit. Now, if for whatever reason, say that this is sticking out too far now, hacksaw, pair cutters, trim this back, so you can just basically move this back to where it needs to be. Sometimes you may have enough plating that's depending on how far back this piece is slid into this here, because you can see I could slide that back, almost a half inch. You may be able to back it out as much as a quarter inch. If it's bigger than that, you may have to get a new one of these and just basically move it to where it fits. But if it's off a little bit, this does bend and move to where you want it to, so it gives you a lot of flexibility if it's off just a little bit. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Are you talking about cutting this piece right here? Well, like I said, that piece here is going to be going into here, so you've got to make sure you got enough going into here in order for it to work. But see, this will be coming out of this hole right here, so this is going to be connected to that. So as long as you've got enough to do that, you're fine. But you're going to have enough to go into that P-trap. Yeah, but the only problem is all your piping in the back is already set, so unless you want to do a whole lot of massive plumbing work, just shift it over to the side a little bit and slide it back that way. I'm sorry? No, this here is already pre-mold no matter where you buy them. That's the P-type right here. That's basically allows doesn't allow the fumes and stuff from the sewage stuff up in there, so that's going to be it. Does anybody have any? Yes, sir. Are you talking about the P-trap? They may, he's asking if they make a low profile one, so basically it's just a little bit smaller. They may make that, but I think you're more worried about the height though, correct? Well, since I got to cut the holes for this, I made sure they were dead center. A lot of times you'll find, I do a lot of kitchens, but obviously you got a whole lot of piping coming into there too. And when we're putting in the kitchens, I have some where it's actually in a whole other cabinet, and you got to cut through cabinets to get over to that. Yeah, unless you got the bottom line is looking at the expense, depending on how much money you want to put into the project. You can have the pipes moved, you can have them where they line directly up underneath there. It's just how much money you want to put into the project to get it done. If you want to make it inexpensive to do that, then just kind of do it that way. Unfortunately, if your pipes are all set, there's not a whole lot you can do with it, unless you want to spend the money to have a plumber come in and move it. So, unfortunately, yeah. Not the answer you wanted to hear, but it's, as close as honesty as I can get. Does anyone else have any more questions about what we've done so far? Anyone lost, didn't understand what I did? Well, that didn't sound good. Well, it is, but what may be simple to me may be extremely difficult to others. But I mean, does it seem fairly simple to you guys to be able to do that? Especially putting the Vanity 2 screws to make a level. Really hard to mess that up. No, that's the fun part. It just gets destroyed. Exactly. As long as you're not busting the pipes in the wall, it's 2 thumbs up, you're ready to go. Unfortunately, you got to clean up the mess just made in the bathroom, but outside of that, we're good.
Hey, Jeff?
Yes.
You can leave all these ladies your cell phone number just in case they have questions when they put theirs in.
Absolutely. My name is Jeff. I do work here at Home Depot. I'm here Monday through Friday, and yes, I do go out when there are issues, so feel free. On this one right here, Teresa, she was saying that I got lucky enough. My handles are on mine. They aren't on hers. On that one right there should have been a little plastic washer, like this right here. Basically, all we're doing, we're taking this little, like I said, read the instructions because I'm probably going to do that in a minute. You slide that over this piece right here, this, oh, it's already on that one. This one goes on that one. Yeah. Basically, all you're doing is a little Allen screw. Literally, all you're doing is you're going to slide it. You just have to, give a little bit of force. Once it's on, just take this Allen screw right here, tighten it down, and basically that's what holds it on. That's basically all there is to these. And it actually comes with one, so you don't need to worry. Okay, now it's on there. My bad. I loosened it up. Actually, there is a left and right side. I put mine on wrong. That's why I took it off when no one's looking here in the rear. So that way the valve will open to the front, mine open to the back, so you know we're wrong. Okay, all you gotta do is tighten it down and we're all done. Anybody have a question on how to put the handles on? I showed you how to do it wrong, so you don't do it that way. Just put it around the other way. Yeah. Actually, the Allen screw, that's another one. So probably in the box somewhere. Yep, there it is. Yeah, I make no qualms about it. I do mess up quite often. But I do know how to fix my own mistakes, so I guess if I can fix it, then I'm alright. Okay. My portion of it. fun thing is done. Does anybody have any questions in regards to putting in a faucet or vanity sinks? So did we do all right? Did I do okay?
Jeff, thank
Does
you.
everybody know how to put on a handle? Okay, so we won't go over that because... No, absolutely. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate your help. All right, I think what... Thank you very much, ladies. I think what they're going to do now is they're going to decide whether or not they want to do this or...
Yeah, how many ladies are interested in learning to do the towel bars and the light fixtures? Right here? Okay, anybody else? Maybe? Okay.
Yeah, so was I, but they made me wear this, so that means you have to talk.
I'll be glad to stand and talk for hours.
Here you are. I'll just take your seat. I'll be fine.
When you do the lighting, are you going to do ballast, like replacing
ballast?
or just putting in the new lighting?
Well, putting in the new lighting because 95% of the time they're just going to replace the whole thing. There's a lot more wiring involved when you replace the ballast versus just swapping out a light. With a light, you only do 2 screws, 3 wires, and you're done.
So if you're showing a light, it would also work for like your outdoor light on your pole. You could buy one and it's the same.
The basics for, I hate to say basics because some of those are proving wrong. 90% of the time I'll give you a Simpson error. Most of your house lighting, including fans, you have 3 wires, a black, a white, and a neutral, which is going to be a red wire. Black goes black, white goes white, and neutral or green is what's going to be your ground. That's going to be the same almost anywhere through the house. Just me.
Right, thanks.
Anybody have any other questions in regards to whatever you want to ask? It doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be about. Yes, she did ask me, which actually this is a very common one, especially with kitchens because you have so many cabinets. She asked how do you adjust the doors. Because depending on how your floor is, if I took this cabinet and I just tweaked it just a little bit, your door's going to be way off. That's put your handle on. There is a screw in the back of this, and then there's one on top and bottom. If you need to raise the door up or down, there's 2 screws. You basically undo it and you can move your door up or down. If the door is off, like it's like closer on the top and really tight on the bottom, there actually is an adjustment screw where you can pull the door backwards. The front one, right here. All you do, screw it in, it will pull the door back. No. Seriously, either screw it in or screw it out, it's going to move the door front or back, out back. But this way here will pull the door either backwards or forwards, either bring it closer together or further apart. Your up and down is basically what's holding the hinge in place. You just unscrew that and they've given you a little bit of room, about a 1/4 inch tolerance to go either up or down to move the door in place. That is actually really simple too. If you guys want to just mess around with the mat board, you can come up here and mess them all up if you want up here. Does anybody have any other questions about anything while I'm up here? Yes, ma'am. Sure. Yes, ma'am. The wires that are coming down are the same wires that's going to come down even if I was to wire, like say this line right here, the same wires that are going to this are going to your fluorescent light as well. Once you take that fluorescent light down, you're going to have the same wires hanging down, which
It should be the same electrical box. They're, you know, the little round recessed holes that the wires come in. It's the same thing. It just might not be painted. There's a lot of the older or newer homes where they put those lights up. They put them up before they even finish the ceiling off. So once you take that down, I mean, you have to be careful what you have behind it.
And it also depends on how old your house is. Because some of the really, really old houses have just a little bit different. Right. You know, the wiring's going to be just a little bit different. So if you go into everything that I've done up here, anything you want to learn, you know, basic electrical, go on HomeDepot.com, like how to install. They've got a subcaption in there for almost every department in our store. And it'll actually take you, you know, step by step on how to do it. Or anyone that's familiar with YouTube or Google, you can go on there and there's probably someone on there that's done a video that actually take you step by step on how to do it as well. But HomeDepot.com does have almost everything on how to install. If anyone remember the 1, 2, 3 books we used to have? Well, it's all online now, which makes it easier. So we can have that. They're only coming to the store Here I've got a master electrician that works Andy in electrical. You can hit him up. He'll talk to you to death on how to do it. But he's very good. He's a master
Yeah, he
electrician,
actually
so trust me.
he taught our electrical clinic. Who was here for the electrical clinic that switches and dimmers and stuff? And it was like a college course. It was awesome. The guy is phenomenal. He's done rock concert lighting. He does all that professional for the Bucks and all that kind of stuff. So the guy knows his stuff. If you have a question, come in and ask for Andy.
We have someone in every department, trust me. If you have a question, just come here and ask. You can ask for me, like I said, go front, ask for Jeff. Trust me, if I don't know how to do it, I'll find someone that does. Because I want to make sure it's done right. I want to come back and say, Jeff, you're totally wrong. I'll make sure someone knows what they're doing when they do it. So I'm here Monday through Friday.
Jeff, you rock. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you, ladies.